But you think they would see the success of Lost Coast and be like, oh, maybe we need to adapt our policies and kind of change our structure a little bit? Because, I mean, the Times Standard, like, I mean, print paper or print news especially, I mean, it's dead at this point,
Yeah.
essentially, right? I mean, who
Yeah.
still reads a newspaper?
Old people.
That's
Old
true.
people
That's
and
true.
me, but I don't
Do
actually
you still
really
read a
no,
newspaper?
not
Oh,
really.
okay, I
I
was gonna
just
say.
I dismantle the paper every day because I get it at my house
Mm-hmm.
and I do the crossword puzzles. Well,
Oh,
I have to do
nice.
the crossword puzzles because I'm not that great at it, but I
Mm-hmm.
try. But
You give it an honest effort.
yeah, so the Times Standard is owned by Media News Group, which is a media conglomerate that owns a ton of newspapers across the United States. I believe Media News Group also owns the San Jose Mercury News, the Santa Cruz Sentinel, I think it is, because I've had stories featured in those papers as well. But we can't change anything here locally, really,
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
because it's all up the chain, I mean, that's like getting overtime approved, I mean, it's all these things that none of us, me, my editors, hell, the publisher probably can't change. We have to call some IT person, I think. I'm kind of assuming this, but in, Sacramento or something to help us change something on the website if we can't figure out how to do it ourselves. And so, as far as trying to make ourselves more relevant, and the goddamn paywall just pushes more people away. I mean, I send, my friends or family are like, oh, I want to read your stories. And I send them a link and they're like, wait, there's a paywall. And I'm like, well, you should be paying to read my stories. But I also
Yeah, come on,
understand why you're
support me
not
out.
because, like, well, they don't do it,
Yeah.
and sure. So that pushes more people over to Lost Coast Outpost, North Coast Journal, wherever. And I mean, God bless North Coast Journal. I know that this pandemic really took a toll on their operations, having all these advertisers drop out from underneath them. And for the record, I'm not trying to speak for any of these organizations when I mention them. I'm just mentioning passively what I see and my utmost admiration for them. But oh gosh, I don't remember what I was saying about that. But yeah, it's the paywall. It just pushes all these people over there because it's like, well, I can't read it on the Times Standard without paying, but I can go over there and read it for free. So I'll just do that. And it's just as good, maybe even better reporting. So whatever. So that makes it really hard. I hate that freaking paywall, but I get it. But,
It sucks.
I don't see that money really,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
it's
not going to the
God.
people that deserve it.
Yeah, corporate media, man, it sucks. It makes newspapers, makes us even less relevant. Pushes us out of the business.
Does it feel like, in your opinion, where you're so close to this field, does it feel like journalism's kind of gone downhill? Like real journalism.
Yes. I mean, on the whole, sorry, just like splashed some
You're
truly
fine.
in my eye. But I guess
Or I mean, has it
it's
always been this way?
no, I mean, I think that people do not care as much about the content they're getting, right? Because we're all the people, I mean, not me, but people our age, people now in 2021 read their news on Facebook. They read what
Yeah.
people are sharing. They read,
It's all clickbait.
yeah. And so most people, it does not seem, are necessarily seeking meaningful journalism. Like I have my aunt who is a very educated woman. We do not politically align, but she was talking to my dad. She was saying how impressed she is that, I'm such an objective reporter. And I mean, I take that as a compliment every time I hear it, but I'm also like, it's not that hard. It's really not. You just try to talk to as many people as you can and do not put your opinion in a story. But she was telling my dad, she's impressed by that, but also that she doesn't know how to seek out legitimate or objective news sources. And I'm like, I mean, lady, you're like 65 years old. How do you not know how to do that? I mean, you go to the sources that historically, for her when she was younger, that were always legit. New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, Chronicle, whatever. These just historic institutions that have always been there, that are trustworthy because they've stood the test of time. So if you're talking about reading something on like, I don't know, something that has weird website formatting or something. It's probably not reliable. You know, if there's too many bright colors in the banner or whatever, it's probably not right, you know? But so in that sense, you know, people just want clickbait. They want quick articles that are, you know, it's like eating fast food, you know, satisfies your itch or whatever. But in another sense, you know, because of technology and how we have evolved and that people are so much more into these little niche ideas and things that they want to know more about, there is so much more delving into that and people doing more research and people talking about more of those things. So, you know, there are pros and cons to it. You know, I mean, I think it's a problem for people to be too into any one subject or one website that they get all of their news or whatever from. I think that's really toxic and we should all be looking at our whole world and, you know, considering other perspectives. But at the same time, you know, that has afforded us, you know, I mean, that's the product of the cool thing. That is, there's all these people who want to talk about all these weird things and we can dig into our little niches, you know, that's amazing. But yeah, it can lead to some really toxic behavior as we have seen with
Oh yeah.
QAnon rabbit hole, for
Oh yeah.
example.
It's crazy because we have this incredible access to all of this information. You could really learn anything you want to about any situation,
hmm
whether it's what's going on right now with Palestine and Israel, whatever. You could literally get all the information you
hmm
want on that. But we don't do that. We only hit that surface level, if
Yeah.
that.
Scroll on Instagram, you
Yeah,
know?
we'll just catch a headline. Oh,
hmm
this is happening, and then we'll take that as gospel and run and tell 20 other people.
Right.
Oh, this is. I've done that. You just see that little blurb, and you're like, oh, I didn't know this was
Yeah.
happening. And you
Oh
tell
my
somebody else,
God.
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, that's not true.
Right.
And it's like, oh shit, I just told 5 other people, and they're gonna run with that.
Right. Yeah.
And
And then it's like
what do you do?
telephone too, which,
Yeah,
like, you
and you
know,
never
someone
go
tells you and then it
back.
changes and it just, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden someone's like,
the world's
yeah,
ending.
a cheese sandwich invaded Palestine,
Yeah,
you
it's like
know?
what? That's why they're fighting. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know
Oh
that.
God, cheese.
But it's, I mean, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. It feels like with the power of all this information, we've almost declined. We've gone backwards instead
hmm
of using it and doing something meaningful with it and actually checking our sources because
hmm
we can now in a really significant way and looking at okay, who wrote this article? Okay, who backed that company? Okay, why would they say this? Let me go check this other site that might say something different. Let me go look around and see, is everybody thinking this way? Are there multiple opinions on this point?
hmm
But we don't do that. I mean,
No.
how many people we joked about it, but how many people actually only get their news from Facebook or from
Right.
Instagram?
Right. Or just a single source,
Yeah,
you
or
know?
just CNN. If you
Yeah.
just watch CNN, it's not good for you. Just like if
No.
you just watch Fox News, it's not good.
Right.
You're not getting the full picture.
Right. If you just listen to Democracy Now, not good. Also very depressing. I did a lot of that during my drive time when I was at Kmart. Holy cow, how many times I cried in my car.
Oh no.
But yeah, I mean, any one source, because, you know, sources are, as much as I want to think that there is some way to be actually completely objective, sorry to say to my like 18-year-old, you know, idealistic self, there isn't. We all have our own biases that we inject in things, but, you know, as reporters, it's our duties to, you know, do everything we can to be as objective and factually based as we can, you know? And right now we're in a climate where people just want to be spoon fed what they want to hear. They want to hear other people that agree with them and, you know, share their perspectives. And it's, you know, can be like a misery loves company kind of thing. And, you know, we all agree on the same thing. We're all fired up about the same thing. And, you know, that can lead to good things like, you know, protesting or, you know, coming together for an effort and trying to create change. Or it can be just like going down this dismal, again, QAnon rabbit hole, for example, where it just, you know, spins out of control. But I mean, it's, you know, it's so frustrating because as someone who strives to be as objective as I can as a reporter, you know, I believe in my readers. I believe in the consumers of the media I create. And I believe that, you know, if I present them with the facts, then they're like, I want to know more about that. So I'm going to go read about that. Or they doubt something I say. They look it up and see that it's true, you know, but just that by presenting them with the facts that they can develop their own opinions. And I believe that in my heart of hearts. But it doesn't seem to always go that way, you know?
Yeah, especially now, where
Yeah.
everything is so politically charged. I mean, the idea that you're going to get unbiased information on something, especially if it involves Trump or
Mhm.
Biden or anything political right now. The idea,
COVID at
yeah,
all.
COVID, the vaccine, there's no way it's going to be unbiased. And it's so sad saying that.
Right.
But it's just, everyone is just so in their camp right now that they
Mhm.
can't see the other side. They can't accept any information that doesn't align with what they fundamentally believe. And
Right.
that's what it is. We are all attached to this fundamental belief, whatever side you're on. That's your side. And if you step out of that side, it's gonna get ugly.
Right.
So
You're
you
a
better,
traitor
yeah, you
or
better
you're
walk the line.
wishy-washy or
Yeah.
whatever, you
Or you
know?
don't actually believe, or you don't believe in science, or you don't have all the information, or whatever slanderous thing they're gonna
Mhm.
throw at you just to discredit what you're saying.